I have to start off by saying this is hands down one of the better popcorns that I've ever had. I think it tastes like vanilla ice cream. It's the Himalayan sweetness. I've never really tasted anything actually this magnificent. It's really good. You should try it out. It's like having popcorn and vanilla ice cream at the same time. I don't know. I'm really into it. So I might be munching on that during the duration of our time together. I don't know where to set it though. Set it there. Okay. So this is new and fun. Happy 2025. I wanted to create something for us that is for people that don't like to go out on the weekends. Specifically, Friday nights and Saturday nights. Welcome to Anxiety Club Saturday Sessions. It is a mini series by me, Lexi Klein, brought to you by Anxiety Club, which is a clothing line. I'm wearing an Anxiety Club crew today. And ultimately, I wanted to create a space and a community for people that don't love going out on Fridays and Saturdays and would prefer to like stay in but don't want to feel lonely. Because when I was in high school and college and now in my 20s, I don't love going out in general. Like, it's never been my thing. And I always felt really lonely, or not lonely, but like maybe more lame and lonely, because like all my friends would want to go out on the weekends and like drink and go to a bar or a club or whatever. And I just was not into it, like, at all. I was just not interested. So, you know, sometimes I would stay home or sometimes I would go out, but like that peer pressure feeling just like sucked, you know, and I felt like I was going to have no friends if I didn't go out. But even though it wasn't my favorite thing to do, I would still go anyways. And with all that being said, I really loved the idea of creating a space for us to hang out on Friday nights and Saturday nights. If you're looking for something to do and you don't want to feel, you know, alone on the weekends because, you know, you're not really into going out, just know that I'm here, and these episodes are going to be dropping every week on Saturdays. So actually, I think I'm going to drop them on Fridays so you can watch them on Friday nights. Duh. These episodes will be dropping on Fridays, Friday mornings. And that way you have something to do on a Friday night and a Saturday night, and you can pop your favorite popcorn or buy the lesser evil popcorn Himalayan sweetness bag and chill with me. And it's going to be a grand old time. So again, welcome to Anxiety Club Saturday Sessions with Lexi Klein. I'm going to put isn't she cute though? This pillow. I really love her. A couple days ago, I asked you guys to write in your craziest dating stories. And I got a few. And I'm very excited to go through them because I've only briefly looked through them. And I think a lot of these crazy dating stories are going to stir up some of my own crazy dating stories from the past. And I'm just excited to kind of go down this like nostalgic dating path with you guys, because sometimes dating is really hard. As you know, I write a lot of music about dating, and it can just be such a grand old time, or it can be very, very devastating. So let's get into some of these crazy dating stories that you guys wrote in. Okay. So we'll start off with one from a high school friend of mine who I love and have been friends with since, I think, kindergarten. And her craziest dating story, one of the cats found a very loud ball. I took the loud ball away. My cats, by the way, their names are Cowboy and Nash, and they might make themselves known at some point during this episode, but they're very cute and we love them. Okay, so back to what I was saying about crazy dating stories. The first crazy dating story I want to get into is actually from one of my best friends, and her and I have been best friends since literally kindergarten, I think. And she wrote in, found out when a guy took me to a bar that he takes a new girl to the same bar like 3 times a week and tells everyone the same story to try and get them to like him. His roommate was kind enough to spill the tea. This is Nash. Okay. I remember when she told me this, and the idea that, like, first of all, why is he telling you that he takes the same, like, not the same girl, but like different girls, but to the same bar? What? Don't tell us that. Like, if you're on a date with a girl, like, don't tell them that you've taken multiple other girls to the same place. That's so weird. And it's also weird that his roommate was kind enough to spill the tea. Like, his roommate, like, knew he was sus. Like, so random. Okay. All right, moving on. Made it clear, this is another dating story. Made it clear neither of us are religious over a week of texting before meeting. Okay. He showed up to meet me in his Sunday best after church holding a Bible and prayed for us. Wasn't a joke, period. This is an anonymous one, so I don't know who wrote this in, but that is tragic. I find it odd that you both made it clear that neither of you were religious over a week of texting before you met. Like, I wonder how did that conversation over text go? Like, was one of you just like, oh, by the way, like, I'm not a religious person. I don't practice. I don't go to church, blah, blah, blah. Or did it come up naturally in a conversation? Like, I would love to know the answer to that, because that's ironic. That's just like kind of weird. But I guess if you're getting to know someone and over text and you're like playing 20 questions or something, that could come up. So maybe it's not weird. I don't know. But the fact that he showed up to meet you in his Sunday best after church, holding a Bible and prayed for you, like, where did he pray for you? Was it like before a meal? Like, was it literally on your doorstep after he rang the doorbell? He was like, God bless this home. It's just so random. Okay. That's good. That's a good, funny dating story. That's weird. Okay. Okay, this one's kind of long. I was young and living in a foreign country for work. I meet this guy at a bar/restaurant on the curfew side of where I lived. Without going into detail, if you were downtown past a certain time, you got in a massive trouble. Okay. We eat, dance a little, and he says he knows of a party at one of his friends' houses not far from the restaurant. I'm young and very naive, so I say okay. We've all been there, though, where you're just like, okay. Like, I have nothing else to do right now. That's funny. We're walking a while. It's getting close to curfew. He's giving me weird looks, and I'm trying not to feel awkward because I really wasn't feeling him and was actually looking forward to socializing around a bunch of other people. Okay, that's so relatable though. Like, when you're with someone that you're just like not that into and you're like actually excited to get to like a club or a bar where like you can kind of socialize with other people just to kind of like get away a little bit. That's real. He kept asking me odd questions along the way about my ideal type of guy. Okay, I could see that being flirty. Interesting. 10 minutes from curfew, we reach a hotel. I had 2 options. Get arrested. Whoa, this is quite the story. Get arrested or go into the hotel room. To note, I didn't have the type of money to rent my own room. Fair. Same. I wouldn't either. He tells me we can just talk and that, oops, his friend's house shut down the party. Okay. The hotel was clearly pre-booked. I pretended to be okay with it, and as soon as I get inside, lock myself in the bathroom. Whoa. I pretend to be okay with it, and as soon as I get inside, lock myself in the bathroom, sleep in the bathtub, and snuck out in the morning once curfew was lifted. Oh my God. Were you just like not... Okay, so obviously you say you weren't feeling it, but were you like not safe? Like that sounds very dangerous. But obviously you don't want to get arrested. And if the guy's like manageable and he's fine with you just like locking the bathroom door, then like by all means, lock the bathroom door. But okay, wait, actually this just sparked something in me. I remember actually a similar story. Mine was kind of I was actually into him, but then it like had a big fat twist of turn of events, and he ultimately ended up not making me feel safe. Okay, fine, I'll get into it because we've already started talking about it. So there was this guy that I met when I was on a family vacation, and basically we ended up like being pen pals for a year after we met. And I was really young. I think I was like 16, 17 or something. I was like going into college. And that summer, I was like, oh, I'll go visit him. So I like hop on a plane. I go and I visit this guy. We end up getting back to his apartment. I like put my stuff down. We like put on our swimsuits and we were like going to go to his apartment pool. Like I was basically just like going to spend a weekend with him. But we hadn't seen each other in like a year. We had only been pen pals at this point. And we're at the pool and he lets me know that his girlfriend, I'm not making this up, by the way. Like this sounds like a made up story. It's not. He tells me that his girlfriend is like upset that I'm in town. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I need you to backtrack like 10,000 steps. Did you just say girlfriend? And now I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm in like, am I here because you wanted to have a friends weekend? Like I thought we were like had an emotional connection. Like I'm so confused. And we also had been drinking a lot. Like I'll spare you the details, but like I actually don't really remember how much that I had to drink, but I just remember being drunk. And he was too. And so when I found out about this, like that fun drunk like vibe that we had went from fun to like, this is a really uncomfortable situation. And I immediately was like, I need to leave. Like I had no idea that he had a girlfriend. This was a while ago. And so now I think that's why like I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what happened. But then I remember being like, okay, well, like, can we go back to your place? And I was just going to kind of get my stuff and like get my shit together and probably leave. And so we like go back upstairs. But as we're like on our way up there, he like cornered me and like yelled at me. And I don't fully remember exactly what he said because I was pretty drunk. But he made me so uncomfortable that I basically went up to his place, like at his apartment, did a similar thing where I like locked myself in his bedroom, locked the door behind me, slept in his bed that night. Like I didn't see him again because he made me feel so uncomfortable when he like pinned me in the corner that I like started crying and like freaking out, and I needed my buzz to wear off. So then so basically I spent the night in his bedroom, but I had locked the door and he like slept on the couch. But yeah, no, similar vibe. Like I was actually pretty scared. No, that can be like actually terrifying, especially when you don't feel comfortable enough or have the ability. Like, sorry, you guys, my cats are going fucking crazy right as I decide to film. It's their playtime, of course. But no, so like if you're in a scary situation like that can be so alarming, and like and when you feel like you don't have anywhere to go. I'm glad that you were able to like lock yourself in the bathroom and then like get out in the morning, and like I'm sure you never saw this guy again, which is good. But like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I had a similar story. So, and mine ended with me literally hopping on a plane the next day and coming back. Like it was such a waste of my money and time. Okay, let's see here. I don't know that it's funny necessarily, but my most awkward first date was years ago. I met someone old who lived in the opposite side of the city from me, but right at a neighborhood I used to live in. So normally outside my distance, but I was kind of excited for that familiarity, and our conversation online was nice. She seemed interesting and was cute, so I figured let's just try a date and see what happens. Okay. So you're like, fuck it, let's go out. Anyway, I headed down by her with the excitement of trying some restaurants and stuff from my old hood. We met up for some delicious tacos and things immediately went weird. Oh God. She didn't say a single thing the entire date except to answer questions I asked. There is nothing worse than being on a date and like carrying the whole conversation. No, that's seriously horrible. We struggled through dinner. It wasn't going quote unquote bad. She definitely was interesting when she spoke. Cuter in person than in her photos. All good signs, but if I didn't keep forging ahead and driving the conversation, we'd be meditating. That's horrible. There's nothing worse because you're probably like, you're at dinner and you're thinking to yourself like, okay, I want to enjoy this dinner. Like I'm out at a restaurant and like maybe it's a cool vibe and the person you're with cannot carry a fucking conversation. I've been there. After dinner, I suggested we grab a drink at a well-known bar nearby, so we went. It was crowded, but we managed to get drinks and found a seat with a little luck. Okay, so it's interesting. So it must not have been that bad if you're like, okay, I'm down to like go grab one extra drink tonight, like whatever. Okay, so then even with working on our second drink, because maybe we're like, oh, she'll like loosen up. Okay, so maybe working on our second drinks, but loosen up as in like, maybe she'll start talking more. She still wouldn't say a peep unprompted. Maybe she was like nervous. I don't know. Eventually, I kind of hit a wall and decided to just play chicken with it. So now you're getting like experimental. I love that. I didn't say anything for 5 whole minutes. I didn't say anything and neither did she. We sat there next to each other watching the other patrons drinking alone but together. Okay, that's like when you're like married for like 14 years and like you go out to a bar and you're kind of just like exhausted and you don't feel like having a conversation, but you're like together. Like that is not supposed to happen on a first date. Eventually, I picked things back up again. I think we stayed another hour with me driving the conversation throughout. Then we parted ways and I messaged her the next day about not wanting to meet up again, which she was disappointed with, but took fine. But girl, what do you expect? If okay, like, I get it. Like, if you're nervous or you're shy or like someone that doesn't love to like start a conversation, that's like one thing. But if you're out on a date with someone and it's been like an hour or two and you've had a drink or two, like you should ask him some questions, right? Or ask her some questions, vice versa. I went out with a fellow to a restaurant. He had some of the worst table manners I've ever experienced. Mouth open chewing, audible burping. Okay, that's disgusting. Chewing is one thing, burping is another. Talking with food in his mouth, using the fork like a shovel instead of a flatware. I was so secondhand embarrassed. No, that is actually terrifying. Like when you're out on a date with someone and they're like eating across from you and like it's such an ick when someone cannot shut their mouth when they're chewing their food. But burping is like second level disgusting. Like if you are burping on a first date in general, oh my God. No. Okay, so maybe this is like multiple written in one. It says number 2, a guy used this as an opportunity to talk to a captive audience about his anti-abortion stance. Okay, goodbye. The minute that I would literally leave is like insane. I would leave so fast. We met up at this is number 3. We met up at a fairly casual seat yourself restaurant. I arrived slightly early, so I went ahead and sat down. He showed up, we had nice chat and a nice lunch. We paid and got up to leave, and his facial expression changed dramatically. I realized what had happened. I hadn't remembered to give him my usual, "How tall are you? I am," pre-date speech. Once we stood up, he realized how tall I am, and his feelings about the issue were written all over his face. So you must be a tall girl. No, that's so hard. But also, like, he should just own it in that situation and be confident. But, like, no, I feel like if you have to tell him how tall you are before going out on a date, like, I don't know. That just, like, kind of sucks. Like, you shouldn't have to say how tall you are before you go out on a first date. Like, I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe people do that. I don't know, guys. Do people do that? Do people like write how tall you are before you go out? But I feel like you should just look at their picture and like gauge, like go stalk them on Instagram, or like if you're on a dating app, like go look them up, like find that picture of them standing next to their friends and like figure out how tall they are. Like maybe they're by like a tree or something and you can like see how tall they are. But like, I feel like you shouldn't have to be like, oh, I'm 5'7" before you go out on a first date. Anyways, number 4, the guy who kept commenting on my long hair and how he liked women who looked like women. Goodbye. Oh my God, that's terrible. LOL. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys my craziest dating story before we wrap. So I dated this guy. So I'm going to write what I wrote. I dated this guy for a few dates, and there was one night where I knew he was throwing a party, and he sort of half invited me, so my friend and I went without really letting him know because we had been on a few dates. It didn't seem like a big deal when he wasn't texting me back. So back to just go. And when I got there, he was there with another girl, so I left and I never saw him again. Yeah, I basically like showed up, and we were like texting. I was seeing him for a while, and then I knew he was throwing this party that he kind of like invited me to, but he like didn't really send me the details or anything, but I just thought it was like a casual thing. So I like went, and maybe I should have gotten like a little extra text from him that was like, come, but I was like, oh, we've been dating for like a couple dates. I'm like, we've been dating for a while. We went out on like 3 dates, but I was like, still like, all right, I'm going to go. So me and my bestie show up, and we walk in, and like he was super weird and standoffish. And then I saw him there with another girl, and I was like, oh, okay. And then we just like left because that's stupid. So yeah, guys, this was like an interesting episode talking about craziest dating stories. I loved hearing your wildest moments. A lot of these were written in anonymously. Actually, I think all of them were except for the first one that I told you guys. So, but thank you for writing them in, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing these episodes once a week again, dropping them on Friday morning, so you can check them out on Friday night and Saturday night as something to do on your weekends if you want to chill and stay in and eat popcorn with me. So yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Anxiety Club Saturday night session. First one, commence. Case closed. That's a wrap. I'll show you guys my cute pillow one more time. She'll be here next time too. Have a good week. I'll see you guys.